So go back and do the assessment again, but it's not that you're not truthful. Like you're thinking, okay, yeah, I'm showing up, I'm bringing the yes tone. Okay, cool, I got some points today. But what you need to do is look at it realistically.
So I'm in my nice guy a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's my major thing, and then my anxiety. I mean, I do the anxiety training, but it still gets the best of me to the point where I still catch myself trying to question Jackie, even though who she's on the phone with.
All right, let's just break down those two examples because they're phenomenal, okay? So your score can be high, all right? But you can look at the fact that if you're in your nice guy, what is that actually doing? So if you're looking for approval, if you're basing things off expectations, if you're keeping score, all of these sorts of things, then your score can't be that high. Those should all be zeros. So now you just lost 30 points, okay?
Yeah.
Now, if you're looking at, your anxiety is ruling you. All right, man, so start looking at your stat response. Then go over to like man at play, for example. You can't possibly be flirting the way you want to be flirting if your anxiety is that high, which means your score is too high, you ranked yourself too high. So you might be thinking you're honest, but you have to go deeper, which is what I was talking about with those reflections, right? If you start to go, well, shit, my anxiety is through the roof. Like I'm constantly wondering who she's talking on the phone. There is absolutely no fucking way you're walking through the door with the energy you need to have. Just lost 10 more points, right? So go back and do the assessment again, but it's not that you're not truthful. Like you're thinking, okay, yeah, I'm showing up, I'm bringing the yes tone. Okay, cool, I got some points today. But what you need to do is look at it realistically. Am I actually doing the thing, I'll call it, but am I showing up in the way that that guy would do it if things were right? Right? If I want to bring home a yes tone and my anxiety's through the roof, and I'm going to go through, a couple examples. One would be the way that you're feeling about her and who she's talking to, wondering what's going on there, all that kind of stuff, okay? Then there's going to be the whole side, Chris, where it'll be like, what kind of stress are we bringing home from not getting paid? Not getting the invoice collected, not having the next job, worrying about the men that you want to take care of with their families, who, the bills that you have there, stealing from Peter to pay Paul, whatever, right? All these other things are going to affect everything from your yes tone, how you interact with your children. Oh, shoot, did I just lose some points with my man and kids too now, right? So I'm not saying that you didn't answer questions honestly, but they are baseline for you to start reflecting. Then you go back and think about what are those things going to impact as I go through it, which is why we call it Man with Impact. And essentially though, I want you to think about that impact through all the different sections. Does that make sense? Like it's easy to get points because I worked out and I read a book and you start going through all these other things, but it's not so easy to get points if you start to go, oh man, this is nowhere near the caliber of the kind of way I should be showing up for just, let's say, tone alone, environment in the home. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I've never been the type of person to bring, work home or anything like that. So when it comes to stresses for work, that's never really been an issue. Even about money. That's
fantastic. That's fantastic. I'm giving examples because I want you to go through and reflect. Okay, you know what I mean? Don't focus on what you can, focus on what you can't, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, that's good if you have some strengths, that's great. Now go apply the things, with the reset that you need to apply where you're totally missing the mark. And again, it's not necessarily totally missing the mark because you're gonna compare, guys, when you do something like the assessment or your scorecard, you're gonna compare back to what you used to be like. Well, the easiest example is your temper. Right? You control some of the ways you snap back, the things that you would say, the anger that you'd use, right? Now, you might be a million times better. Bill and I have talked a lot about that. Like you're feeling so much stronger in the way you're responding, not reacting, because you're not lashing out. You're not going to anger binges. You're not doing, but that's just a win for us to feel good and keep moving forward. It's nowhere near necessarily the caliber of man that we want to be, which means I'm not scoring. Right? So you have to think about it like this. Although it can be a little bit difficult as you get used to the process, it's literally impossible for me to create a scorecard where you can go through every single thing. Everything would be worth 1 to 5 points and there'd be 1,000 questions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
Because there'd be too many scenarios. right? But this is really good. This is a really productive conversation because now you and other lords, you can go through your assessment. You can start to go back. What does this actually impact? How does this actually focus on changing the response versus reaction? How does this change the way that I move in the relationship, walking in with the energy from the home, no eggshells, conversations, flirts, everything? Because just based off that's such a good example of your anxiety one, right? It's impossible to have anxiety, wondering what's going on, and still be showing up the way you should be proud of. Not if it's bothering you, right? Cool.
Yeah.
So I don't say necessarily do it again. Go through the answers that were emailed to you and start reflecting back, thinking. And if you need to, bring those to us so that we can start to really break it apart some more steps further along. Okay?
Yeah, I might have to do that. I'll go through and do some research and compare from the beginning till now and see what's changed and whatnot and try to figure out exactly which direction I need to go.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah. There was a guy recently who got really pissed off because he joined the program and he was like looking at the assessment and aha moments. And he's like, I don't need to learn about manners in fucking showers. And I was like, cool, how much do you drink? And he's like, well, I drink a lot. I'm like, cool, so shut the fuck up and keep learning. There's so many different things. Again, focus on what you can't, not what you can. There's so many different things that seem like, oh man, like, I shouldn't have to do this. Or how many times somebody says, why do we have to learn this? It's because we often will sacrifice one for the other, right? I had a long day. I am tired, so I'm not going to shower today. And then I fucking pouted because my wife didn't want me. Well, maybe that's not the exact reason she didn't want you, but it ain't helping. You know what I mean? And so the funny thing about things like the assessment is it's like we can start to take things so personal and start to go, oh man, this just isn't fair. This isn't right. That's stupid. Why do we have to learn this? She does this. She does that. Farting's a good example. I teach you guys not to fart in front of your wife or your kids, and she might be doing it. Let's be real, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's natural. I don't give a shit. It's a bad smell. Women smell shit. They like fucking smells of candles, essential oils. My wife's always got a diffuser going. That's
same with mine, buddy.
Yeah, most women do. I'm not the first one to talk about scents. In fact, I barely talk about it, and it's all over the internet, right? And so, you know, but then, but my wife likes scents, but she farts, and I'm like, man, I don't really give a shit. You're supposed to be leading, right? So, when you start to break these things down, it's so much more than surface level, is what I'm trying to get at here. You know? Make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so this goes for anybody, guys. Take your assessment, look at the score, and then think about how, and if a lot of you guys jumped on after we started this, but think about how it actually impacts or moves the direction of other things in the program based off what you're getting at. And the example we're using was, if he has anxiety, then there's no way he's flirting the way he should be, confident, strong, just having fun, dealing with rejection well if he's got the anxiety. It's impossible. It's deep in the pit of your stomach. It's messing with your thought process. The insecurity starts to make 19 different directions of thought processes going. And so you might say, yes, I'm doing my training, and you give yourself a score. Cool, now go change your score and reflect, and we can go do some more training. That's what all of you can do when we think of it. Because I noticed a number of you guys went and did the assessment yesterday. Rock on. Way to pay attention, way to learn, and try to move yourselves forward. So now this is the next step. Okay, cool? All right, anybody have any questions on that? Pretty straightforward, I think, but no worries if you do.